India are gearing up for the business end of the tournament and their first encounter in this fag end of the World Cup as we approach is against England, October 29th at the Ekana Stadium in Lucknow. England, looking at their performances against Sri Lanka, they are virtually down in the dumps and they are now only mathematically alive so far in this World Cup contest. India, on the other hand, they would be looking to win on 29th and ensure they make it 6 out of 6 and become the first team to seal their spot in the semi-final. Now, the main question heading into the Ekana Stadium match versus England, what kind of pitch it will be? Will it be a true bouncy pitch like what we saw in the Australia-South Africa match, or are you going to see turn on offer? Because that will determine your playing 11. And let us make one more thing clear here. Hardik Pandya is not going to be part of the game. So, before I come into what can be India's potential playing 11, remember, we don't know how the surface is, we don't know how the pitch will be. Will it be a dry spinning deck like what we saw in Chennai? Because England don't play spin well and they could be subject to trial by spin. So, before I come to the potential playing 11s, I would like to tell you about the playing 11 that was in Dharamshala. Now, remember this lineup. There were two changes made in Dharamshala. Rohit Sharma, Shubman Gill, Virat Kohli, Shreyas Iyer, KL Rahul, that was fine. But because of Hardik Pandya's injury, two slots opened up. One was a batter that was filled by Suryakumar Yadav. Ravindra Jadeja, Kuldeep Yadav stayed. Then they got in Mohammad Shami. Shami was the star with 5 wickets and then you had Bumrah and Siraj. Same figures of 10 overs, 1 for 45. Now, heading into the Ekana Stadium match, what's going to happen? If it becomes a spin-friendly deck with no Hardik Pandya, what are you going to do? Suryakumar Yadav will continue to get a run. But then, does Ravichandran Ashwin come into the fray? There are a lot of media reports stating that Ashwin could get a look in at the Lucknow pitch because it will offer turn and bounce. And remember, the same situation happened in Chennai. India played with 3 spinners, Ashwin, Jaddu and Kuldeep. So, if Ashwin plays, who goes out? If one has to look at it, looking at the playing 11, Mohammad Siraj goes out. Shami will be persisted with and then you are going to get in Ravichandran Ashwin. That will solve 2 things. Number 1, you will have batting until number 8. Plus, you will give Siraj a rest as part of the rotation policy. Then Mohammad Shami will continue from where he left off in Dharamshala. He can get good bounce, he can get reverse swing also, and that's why you will probably persist with Bumrah and Shami. Siraj could come in for the Sri Lanka game, he could then rest Jasprit Bumrah. That is how India would be wanting to look at the rotation aspect of it. This scenario where Ravichandran Ashwin comes in probably could be if the pitch is spin friendly and is assisting the spinners. But what if the pitch continues to be flat? You had a Dharamshala leg wicket. What do you do then? Then it probably makes sense to remain with Mohammad Shami and play with the same 11. In this way, you're not going to get in Shardul Thakur, you're going to go in with the 7 batter formula and then play with 5 proper bowlers. And remember, 5 bowlers, especially if you look at it, Shardul and Hardik would have anyway shared the burden, but here you will need 5 proper bowlers. If the pitch is flat, you cannot get in Shardul and Shami. You can't get both of them. One has to go out. So, if the pitch is flat, you are probably going in with the same 11 that played in Dharamshala. Play 2 spinners in Kuldeep and Ravindra Jadeja. Get Mohammad Shami, get Siraj and Bumrah. But the flip side to that is if the pitch is flat, you cannot rotate your bowlers then accordingly for rest. Because one would hope that the Indian team would be hoping that the pitch assists a bit of spin, because if Ashwin comes in, then Siraj can go out, Shami can play, and then for the Sri Lanka game that will happen on November 2, Siraj can then come back, Bumrah can be rested. and then everybody is fit and fine for the Kolkata game against South Africa on November 5. Because after England, that will be the next biggest game that is there for India in this World Cup. One more win for India, hopefully on 29th at the Ekana Stadium, and they are through to the semi-finals. Because you will need a minimum of 12 points, and looking at how the other teams have lost 2 or 3 games, they cannot overhaul them on that point. So, it all depends on the pitch at the Ekana Stadium. Gut feeling is, looking at the conditions today, India have had a practice session, there was no media activity, and that is why tomorrow there might be some media activities, and as well as on the 28th. Remember, 28th and 27th are the days when India will be practicing. England will be coming tomorrow, but they will mostly be practicing or have a media session only on the 28th. So, depending on the nature of the pitch, it's obvious. If it's spin friendly, get Ashwin in, keep Mohammad Shami in the 11 and rest Mohammad Siraj. That will allow the bowlers to be rotated. But if the wicket is flat, you are going to play the same 11 that took the field in Dharamshala against New Zealand. Then bowler rotation and all that thing, that will be a slightly complicated affair then. But this hopefully is the best solution that India have, because now India only have 4 games remaining. England on 29th, Sri Lanka on November 2 at Mumbai, November 5 against South Africa at Eden Gardens, and November 12th against the Netherlands in Bengaluru. So that is the situation. Hope India can ensure that they play the right team composition in the right venue. Thank you so much, folks, for joining us for this live. We'll be back with more updates on sports today. Tap that bell icon so you know when we go live, and don't forget we are on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram as well. Thank you.